I've had no real appetite today besides an appetite for destruction, you know?
What a mood.
Rated E for everything.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. It's been so long since I've done a moaning intro. And what better way to start off season 2 than with a nice, sensual, hey, what's up, everybody? And you're back with Rated E for everything. Oh, yes.
I can't say that I missed it. I can't. It's the podcast where we talk a little about a whole lot, and I'm not upset, but I still don't love it. I don't have
I'll
to
take that.
dislike
I'll
it
take
or
that.
like it.
I'll take that. That's fine. That's okay.
Cool.
I'm really like, are we? So is it official? Can we officialize this? Season 2 of Rated E? Is that the vibe?
I think so. I got only 2 people that reached out. One said keep going so that we have like eventually episode like 300, and one
Sure.
said season 2. So I really think it's up to us.
Well, I had one person reach out to me that said season 2. So that's democracy.
Shit. Season 2. Episode 1, baby.
Season 2, episode 1. We'll keep the counter going so that we know when we hit episode 200, though. So season 2, episode 1, or in anime world, episode 101.
Yeah, we'll do both.
We'll do both. But we won't keep track of the number. That's your guys' job.
You're in charge now.
You're in charge.
You are the captain now.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's not tell you what the fuck we're recording on and just do the Cammy game, because actually we're turning over a new leaf. Maybe I won't do that anymore. So on today's episode of the podcast, we are going to be dipping our toe back into the world of mythology, which we already did a little bit before, where we discussed some mythological creatures. And so, as you can see, if you're watching the video, Chanel and I have both named ourselves after 2 different Egyptian gods. Although I think one
awful ones. Maybe, yeah.
Is that? But regardless, so what we're going to be doing today is diving into the Ennead. So we're going to be discussing the 9 Egyptian gods, like the 9 main ones in Egyptian mythology, plus Horus, and
maybe some bonus gods,
plus 1 extra to make it 10, because
2 extras.
So to make it 11 and just make my OCD go coup, because that's great.
My favorite. I love odd numbers, and I love watching Carl's skin crawl.
Fuck me. All right, so. This is kind of inspired by Moon Knight, which has been airing. Episode 4 comes out
yesterday.
Well, it will have come out yesterday. So if you guys are watching this or listening to it, peep out Moon Knight. And if you haven't peeped out Moon Knight, definitely check it out. Different type of Marvel products. So I'm just gonna plug the fuck out of it because I love it so much, and I love him as a
Marvel.
character. And Moon Knight deserves all the recognition that he should be getting, like a lot.
Moon
The
Knight
Marvel show's great.
has been. Oh, look at this! Here. Moon Knight has been and continues to be one of my favorite superheroes ever, and I'm so glad Marvel finally got to him. Here is my $150 pop.
Yes, ma'am.
An exclusive, and here are just a few of my favorite selections of very important comics that I just dropped. Here is one of the classics. Look how sexy it is.
Nice.
And look how good it is.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hold up. We're whipping out the Moon Knight merch. Is that the vibe?
That's happening right now. Oh, also, you'll like that one, Carl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He is great, ladies and gentlemen. So that's kind of what inspired us to do this Egyptian god episode. Was I was feeling a little bit horny for more Egyptian content.
And if you're watching and you already like Moon Knight, then you're gonna learn what the Ennead actually is, and
yeah,
you're gonna be able
exactly.
to like guess things quicker. I don't know. Oh yeah, look at it.
Fresh little box lunch cup. You know?
Ooh, ow. Carl got a t-shirt. Sexy as hell.
Pretty sweet.
We love us some good merch.
We do, and especially when they have deals, then it's done. It's over. The money's already out of my fucking bank account.
Take it out.
So, keeping in line with that, would you like to do an Egypt-themed Cammy game? I feel like we haven't done a theme in a while. So,
Yeah. Yeah, let's
Yeah?
go for it. Yeah,
all right,
let's do
all
it.
right.
Let's
I feel
do
like
it.
there's enough, kind
Yeah,
of.
maybe. It might be easier than we think.
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. You got something?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. In 3, 2, 1, Sphinx.
Oh. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Sphinx and tomb.
I feel like there's only one way to go from here.
Oh, okay.
All right, ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
In 3, 2, 1, pyramid. There we go.
That felt
There
too
we
easy.
go.
I felt like
There-
that was too easy.
Okay, maybe.
We did it, but like it felt like we had to get
But
there eventually.
But at what cost? Yeah, you know what that did. Maybe we'll cut that and just do a regular one. That
Why don't
did
we do
feel a little
both? Let's
cheap.
just go again.
Okay, fuck it. Yeah,
just-
let's leave it in.
If we
All
get
right,
we get another Egyptian one, then we're just solid. So we'll
Oh,
do
we're
2
gonna do it-
Egyptian ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's valid. That's valid.
Okay. All right. Cool.
3, 2, 1, Pharaoh.
Scarab. Oh. Okay. Oh God. Now I
all
feel
right.
like
I have something.
Scarab and Pharaoh. Okay. Let's just go.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
I guess this isn't really Egyptian, but this is what it came to mind. So whatever. Maybe
Oh,
in
dear
3,
God.
2, 1, amulet.
Okay.
Did
Amulet.
you say tut?
Tut. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Don't make it seem easy. I don't know. And tut. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go. Just go.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, mummy.
Easy. You just went super easy.
I thought of that too. That's what it was. Fuck. Are we done? Is it one more?
No, there's one more. My first thought was Scooby Doo Zombie Island.
Okay. I could get down with that.
Okay. Wait, what are we at? Ankh
Ankh and oh.
and Mummy?
Yeah. You might not get this one. I'm gonna say it anyway. Maybe we aren't sturdy. Maybe we aren't with it. I don't think
Maybe
gonna
we're
get this
not.
one.
I'm just gonna go.
Oh, wait. You said mummy?
You said Mummy.
I said mummy, and you said Ankh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, ready? In 3, 2, 1. Osiris.
I was gonna say Dr. Fate, and I froze. You went kinda, and then my brain is like, okay, what's not actually Egyptian?
I was gonna say Book of the Dead first, so
I was trying to think of the word for like Passover, like judgment.
Mm-hmm.
But I
That's
was
what
like,
it is. Judgment. That's what it is.
I know, but I was like, I
Yeah.
thought there was like a better word. And I
There
was like,
probably
fuck
is,
that.
low key. There probably is. But
Yeah.
Osiris is the one who like deals with the dead, and
Yeah, he does the
they
judgment.
all got the ankhs. So
They really do.
They really do. They really do. But I thought Book of the Dead came to mind because of the Mummy movies, so that's why I was gonna say.
Ah.
But I was like, is
Ah.
that real? I don't know. I don't think so.
Amun-Ra.
Okay, hey, 1 and 2 are pretty good. They're pretty
Oh,
fuego. I love them.
There's no hate, dude.
Okay.
Like the Mummy just made everyone realize that there is no such thing as being straight. Let's go ahead and put that out there. Yep.
It's
Mhm.
true.
Emily
love Brendan
Weiss,
Fraser and love
Brendan
what's
Fraser.
and Rachel Weisz. What'd you say?
I said Emily Weiss.
Oh,
Rachel. Emily.
Rachel. It is Rachel
Yeah. Anyways.
because Cutie Pie was just in Black Widow.
Truth. Truth.
All right.
I'm gonna say it. How did we get here?
How did we
dude?
get here? Well, it always comes back to Marvel. We know this.
That's
And hot
DC.
people. So
And-
like
Marvel, DC, and hot people. That's like our whole personality.
yeah.
Sprinkle some music in
Funko
there.
Pops.
Oh
Funko
yeah.
Pilot specifically.
Yep.
Just look at the cover art for the 100th episode. That just describes everything perfect.
You mean the absolute gorgeous, beautiful, amazing cover
Yes.
art?
Yes, absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, amazing cover art. So good, so good. I literally
That's
like
like-
was almost brought to tears when I looked at that shit. I was like, This is everything. This is everything I wanted to be and more. Oh my god.
That like it's one of those like you look at it and you find more and you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like
Because upon first inspection, I was like, oh, look at this. Like, this is fun. Like, it's all these little like different like characters and different things from stuff. And then there's like a picture of you with the lightsaber and then me in cosplay. And I was like,
yeah. Even in like the design, there's like the bat logo and
Mhm.
a pretzel. And then in the
mhm.
my favorite was finding the little dude from Insidious like peeking out behind a corner.
Yeah. Yes, so good, so good. Love, love, love. All right. Without further ado, even though we didn't get the second one, that's half. I don't fucking know.
Count
We
it
get-
as a rough start. That's what we're gonna count it as.
And let's get into it. So, Chanel, would you like to give some background information as to what the Ennead actually is?
I sure would, Carl. I love when you do that. Like, would you like to start our lecture off, Professor?
Sorry. Is that not how
Um,
it's supposed to go? Like, I
No,
don't-
it is. It's perfect, actually.
Okay, great.
The Ennead, or the Great Ennead, is a group of 9 deities or gods, but they're mostly called deities in Egyptian. Like, they don't
Mhm.
usually flat out say God. It's in Egyptian mythology, and they are worshipped at the Heliopolis. There we go, the Heliopolis. And it consists of a tomb, his children. So if you're watching, you have the little family tree here. His children Shu and Tefnut, their kids Geb and Nut, and their children Osiris, Isis, Set, Nephthys, and sometimes, if you're feeling nice, you can add Horus and Anubis to the bottom of that family tree.
If you're feeling,
They're not technically in it, but
because Anubis is Set and Nephthys' son, right?
I think it's Osiris. Well, okay, here's the thing. There's a weird thing where Set gets mad and like disguises herself and then sleeps with Osiris. And then
Isn't
they have
Set
a kid. Sorry, Isis gets mad.
boy?
No, Nephthys gets mad and disguises herself as Isis, and they have the kid Anubis on accident. Like a whoops.
Oh.
Because Osiris is god of death and Anubis is the god of the dead. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I got it.
Damn. She took his kids, bro. It's kind
Yeah.
of fucked up.
Yeah.
Anyway, without further ado,
How did we get here again?
let's talk about Atum.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
There's
sorry,
more.
sorry.
There's more.
Let's not talk
um,
about Atum.
Just more like general Ennead things. There's like a bajillion creation stories, and not all of them line up. And like Egyptians who follow the mythology actually are like cool with that. They're like,
That makes
oh,
sense.
there's all these stories. Like, how are we gonna know? So long ago, they're all probably partially true. So they kind
Yeah.
of just take like bits and pieces. So you might hear different variations of everything throughout these descriptions.
Personally, I think that's cool. I like that.
I like
So-
that they're not like bitchy about it. Like, create your own religion. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. It would probably get all fucked up. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Instead of like some religions, that's like this is exactly what happened, and there's nothing else that you can say besides this. Like
Right. I respect that. So
Christianity. Sorry. who
Did
said
you
that?
hear something? Oh wow, our headphones must be messing up at the same time. So obviously the creation story varies between these different things, but generally the world was just kind of like this black floating ocean. It's called the primordial waters. So it's just
Mhm.
like black nothingness of like, think of the ocean at like midnight. And there was like nothing in it, and that was called Noon, Nun. So it looks like none.
Mhm.
And your god, which you can tell the story of, kind of made himself from that water, was like, willpower, I exist. And that's kind of where the Ennead started. So you can go ahead with the first god.
Sure, absolutely. I wish I had that kind of fucking like motivation.
Yo, I exist now.
Just will myself into existence.
I
Like that
said
would be
so.
kind of awesome, actually. So to talk about Atum a little bit. So is it Atum? Atom? Atum? I'm assuming.
I would say a tomb.
Atum.
Just
Okay,
like think
we
you're
can-
like a fucking 8-foot jackal, like Atum Ra.
Atum.
Yeah.
Atum Ra. Okay.
Yeah.
So Atum in ancient Egyptian religion, one of the manifestations of the sun and the creator god, Originally a local deity of the Heliopolis.
Heliopolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atum's myth merged with that of the great sun Ra, giving rise to the deity Ra Atum or Atum Ra. When distinguished from Ra, Atum was the creator's original form, living inside Nun, like Chanel just said, or Noon, I'm sorry, the primordial waters of chaos. At creation, he emerged to engender himself and the gods. He was identified as the setting sun and was shown as an aged figure who had to be regenerated during the night to appear as Khepri at dawn and as Ra at the sun's zenith. So I think it's interesting that the original like creator god got split into like two different gods like as they went further down the line. So Atum was a self-created deity, the first being to emerge from the darkness and endless watery abyss that existed before creation of Noon, like I already said. A product of the energy and matter contained in this chaos, he created his children, the first deities, out of loneliness, which I think is fascinating. He produced from his own sneeze, or in some accounts, his own semen, Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. Why they had one dedicated to moisture? I mean, it was Egypt. So.
I was so
I'm
excited to
sorry.
see
Do
which.
you have questions?
No, I don't. I was just so excited. Excuse me. Egyptian mythology is like one of my favorite, and I was so excited to see which origin you picked. There's like the very tame where like he like sneezed or he spit and he had his kids, and then there's like a not suitable for work version where he jacks off into his own mouth. He holds them in his mouth to create them, and then he spits one out, who's the water one, and then he sneezes one into the air, which becomes the air god. So I was really excited to see which one you picked.
I mean, fuck, I don't even know what to say. Imagine sneezing out your own semen
Into
like
a human. You held it in your mouth so long a person emerged, and you
He's like, damn, this shit's starting to taste kind of weird.
Is that hair? Jesus.
He's like, achoo. Oh shit. Damn. What the
My bad,
fuck
bro.
was that? The fuck just came out of me.
Sorry, I was really lonely. So thanks for showing up. I don't know.
So the brother and sister, Tefnut and Shu, curious about the primeval waters that surrounded them, went to explore the waters and disappeared into the darkness. Unable to bear his loss, Atum sent a fiery messenger, the Eye of Ra, to find his children. The tears of joy he shed upon their return were the first human beings to exist on Earth.
That's right. His little tears made us humans, and now we have to deal with taxes.
So fucked up. So fucked up. Imagine like some fucking god just came in his own mouth, and then all of a sudden now I have to be alive. Like that's
what
so
the fuck is
up,
this
bro.
about?
That's so fucked up.
Sorry, you were lonely. It's not my problem, bro.
Yeah, sorry that you were sad or whatever. Like it's not my fault. You had the willpower to bring yourself to life. Like you could have just stayed primordial soup. You could have. You really could have.
We could have all just been drifting, man.
Honestly, like that doesn't sound so bad.
We're both immediately after this episode gonna get smited by lightning. Anything we say is a joke.
During
on video. Hannah will upload it. It's fine.
She got it. It'll be our last memento. We only made it
finally
to
go viral.
Oh, damn. Damn.
Oh, man.
Our legacy.
Smited on camera. Gods exist, guys. We're proof.
Just a freak accident. It's completely crazy. All crazy like that. Anyway, how do we fucking get here? Chanel, tell me about Shu or Tefnut.
So Shu is, I mean, they're twins, so they quite literally.
Wait, hang on. Wait. Guys, I completely fucked this. For you all at home watching the video, this is a picture of our boy Atum right here. This is his cuteness. Look at
that goatee.
I mean, I'm not really surprised that he came in his own mouth. Look at this fucking very phallic shaped hat.
Oh, so phallic. It's
like
a
straight
bowling. If you're just listening, it looks like a bowling pin in his hat, which I'm sure has a better word, headpiece.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a bowling pin with a tongue.
Yeah.
I don't know what it actually is.
Jesus. Anyway, all right.
Not Jesus.
Not Jesus. You're right. Not Jesus. I'm sorry.
So Shu, he is the first son. They're twins. There's a son and a daughter. And as in all mythology, there's lots of incest going on, so bear with us.
Let's go.
Shu is his name means emptiness or he who rises up. He is the god of
His
peace.
dad rose up.
No, he sure did. He rose real high. uh, he is the god of peace, lions, air, and wind. So mostly the god of air, but he's also those things. Shu was married, or how do they say it? Consorted, constituted, the like proper term that they use for incest. He was married to his twin Tefnut, who is the moisture goddess, which is fucking hilarious. Shu, if you're watching, you can see, but if not, he's generally depicted as just like a normal human, and he wears a headdress that has an ostrich feather on it, or 1 to 4 ostrich feathers, and he has a scepter, which in Egyptian mythology is like a sign of power. So most of the gods have like a scepter. It looks like a walking stick, and then an ankh, which is like represents life or the breath of life, which you know the symbol if you've seen. It's like a cross with a circle on top, an oval, I suppose. Teardrop, I don't know. The ostrich feather also represents life, so he's basically the first life. He sometimes wore a sun disk on his head, which you'll see in a lot of the gods. Actually, the sun and moon are very important to a lot of them. He is the first connected with the sun god Ra or Atum. They are the same person. Like I said, there's lots of names for everything. So he's like very closely related. So he sometimes wears the little sun disk as well. And his skin, a lot of times, not here, but it's painted as just like straight up black because
Oh, really?
yeah. He had like a close connection with Nubia. Shu and Tefnut got together and they had kids, which we'll get to. But Shu's main role was he was like a very calming person, and that was kind of like his wind thing. Like he was calming, he was cooling, he was like a pacifier. He like chilled everybody out.
He's like, we're just here to vibe, bro. Just vibe.
He's
Vibes
just
only.
chilling.
We're all
Yeah.
okay.
He said, "I'm the god of dry air," which makes me laugh so much. Sorry if that's rude. And my wife is the queen of moisture, if you know what I mean.
And my sister.
My sister wife. So what happened? He became the god of light and air, just juxtaposing his wife's sister, and he represented the illumination of the darkness. So that like wave, like the waves, the primordial ocean, the evil ocean, which is what I'm gonna call it from now on, the evil ocean. He was the first one to like shed light on it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. Which that separated night and day for the first time. And that also with light and dark, we learned from Star Wars comes life and death, evil and good. So
And not evil.
evil
and
and regular.
Not evil and regular. Exactly.
So he gave birth to 2 kids, which again we'll get to, but his main like role was separating those 2 kids. So those kids had like this unbreakable bond, and he had to separate them to create the rest of the world, which we'll kind of get to. What else for Shu? Oh, he was because he's the god of the wind and the air. He was the one they prayed to for like sailing and boats and ships and stuff.
That makes sense.
And then anything in the clouds was also his, and people called the clouds his bones.
Okay.
And so Shu eventually used his bones to make a ladder to the heavens for the people that were worthy. So you'd have to yeah, you'd have to climb the bones of Shu to get to heaven. Yeah, what I thought was kind of weird about him is that there has never been a temple for him or specifically to him. Like no one made a dedicated Shu temple, but he was like super revered and respected.
Really? They never
But
made
I
a
mean,
temple for him?
thousands and thousands of years, and no one made a Shu temple. I thought that was really, really weird.
That is strange.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Well, that's Shu.
That's Shu.
Shu.
So now we move on to his wife's sister. It's like an Alabaman relationship. Who is Tefnut or Tefnet or Tefenet, however you want to say it, because there's so many different versions. Tefnut. She's the goddess of moisture. strongly
Mm.
associated, but strongly associated with both the moon and the sun. So
Now, this is not the only kitty goddess, is it?
no, there's Sekhmet, who's not in
Thank
the
you.
Ennead. She's the goddess of war.
That's you have that statue, don't you?
I do.
That's the
Yeah.
only reason why I was asking.
Oh yeah. I have a bunch of Egyptian god statues. I think it's super interesting.
Guys, Chanel's the Egyptian god. She's like, that's hers. I'm the Greek. So
Yeah.
that's how we break this up.
Literally before, like when I was like just writing stuff down, Hannah was like, "Wait, is Carl gonna school you on this?" And I was like, "I think for once I got
No,
this."
absolutely
Like,
not. She's definitely got it in the bag.
it's like if we do Greek, I'm screwed. I'm so
No, that
screwed.
means that hey, that's next. We're
Yeah.
talking about the 13.
I'm in for that. I know enough to get by, but I'll have
Actually, I don't know
some
why
work.
I feel like talking about the main Norse gods would be more fun just because we have no experience in that realm at all. And I feel like that would be just fascinating.
And
just
Thor's coming up.
dive.
It could be relevant.
Stop. We're gonna get sidetracked. Tefnut.
Okay, right. Okay, so she is known as the left and right eyes of Ra, which is the sun and moon eyes of Ra. She is super associated as being a lunar goddess. Again, a lot of these gods have kind of the same title. So you'll see that over and over and over again. They kind of
No one else has the goddess of moisture though, so don't like, try to fucking
you can't
take
take that.
Don't take that away from my girl Tefnut.
Girl
okay?
is wet.
Also,
so-
she is dummy thick.
She's thick.
All right.
Even her hieroglyph is thick.
Is this like kind of should I not be saying these things? Like I don't know if this is like
It
okay
is
for me.
disrespectful, but I mean, he came in his own mouth, so they've heard worse. Okay, so she's the goddess of the sun or the eyes of the sun and moon. She's known as the she of moisture, which is her name is root words in moist and spit, so like just like good old daddy. She is a water goddess in a desert civilization, guys. So if you don't know, she's really fucking important. A lot of people think that the Nile is like a tribute to her from the gods.
That makes sense.
She was definitely responsible for maintaining the life of the tiered humans more than any other deity. So she's generally depicted as a lioness, more so than a woman. You barely ever see her as a woman. You mostly see her as the lion or as a lion head on a human's body, like you see here. She's always wearing the sun disk because she is so closely. She's the eye of the sun. She carries the scepter and the ankh, just like her brother husband.
This is a different looking scepter, though.
Yeah, I think they all have like a little different ones.
Okay.
And she sometimes, if you see on her disc in the picture, there's a cobra. Sometimes she just appeared as a cobra. So she's pretty badass. So the eye of the moon part, she is linked to the night sky as well as dew, rain, and mist, everything wet and dark. She's also the
Jesus.
you know, anything wet and dark. Is that the title?
You really are not holding back with this one, are you? Feels like the what was it?
The
Five
episode?
Senses episode.
Oh,
the Five
my
Senses
God.
episode.
Hey,
That's how
I behaved for that one, okay?
Cap.
I tried really hard
Bullshit.
for that one. Okay. I'm focused. She's the solar eye as well. So she was the protector of her dad, Atum. I keep wanting to say Amun because of the Mummy, the movie The Mummy. She shared the protector of the sun god role with like 6 others, including Sekhmet, like you said, Hathor, Isis, Nekhbet, a bunch of other ones. They're all in charge of protecting the sun god because, don't let that guy die.
He's the most important.
You talked about their dad going to find them to make children. Oh my God, was there a backside? No. You already talked about them running away together to be together and alone and being found. So that's basically all I have on her. She's a badass, but just, the wet and the dry, she got them both. Women, am I right?
Oh my God. Okay.
Also, I mean, if you haven't gotten there yourself, she's also the goddess of fertility. I'm serious. I'm not being an ass. She really is.
There wasn't another. There wasn't a different one for that.
Nope. She's the god of wet and fertility.
Ah, damn.
She
All
got
right.
that good.
Well, let's move on to their children, shall we?
Yes, please give us some of
Incest
that.
babies. So up first, we have my boy, Geb. Yep, Geb. So
that's
Geb,
right.
in ancient Egyptian religion, the god of the earth, the physical support of, he was the god of the earth, or like the physical support of the world, like the physical manifestation of it. And so Geb, he constituted with his sister Nut, the second generation of the Ennead. So obviously the following four gods, Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys.
Nephthys.
Yeah. So Geb and Nut, they got together and they had four little babies. And so Geb was usually portrayed as a man without any distinguishing characteristics, but at times he was represented with his head surmounted by a goose, the hieroglyph of his name.
What a good one.
He was the third divine ruler among the gods. The human pharaohs claimed to be descended from him, and the royal throne was referred to as the throne of Geb. He's honestly like really not that fascinating. I'm not gonna cap with you, because he really is just like the earth god. Like that was kind of his whole function.
He's the king of kings.
Yeah, but only no, but not that much though. He's only number 3, bro. He's number 3. He's third down. You're just the second loser at that point.
The
like,
king of kings, like the king of pharaohs. Is that better?
Yeah,
like the pharaohs were like, I want to be like Geb.
Yeah,
like
but of course.
Pharaoh.
And I mean, how could you not? Look at this. He's fucking. I this cracks me up so much. I don't know why.
You don't want a goose on your head?
So the picture here is he's depicted as like a regular looking Egyptian pharaoh. Basically, he's got the ankh, he's got the scepter, but then there's just a goose sitting atop his head, just chilling, chilling.
It's
vibing.
like the world's first Snapchat filter.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. so it's sometimes I saw like some different pictures of the goose head actually replacing his head. But I don't think that actually happened. I think in most like hieroglyphs and like in actual Egyptian religion, the goose just sat atop his head.
It's just a symbol for his name. I get it, but it looks ridiculous.
I personally really fuck with it, so I don't know what you're talking about.
If I draw you in the next life, I'm putting a goose on your head.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Carl, king of pharaohs, master of geese.
Master of geese. So good. So good. So we move on to his sister wife, his sister Fister, Nut.
Please, please. You said I'm not holding back. You just said the word sister Fister. Are you joking?
Anyway, so Geb was the goddess of the earth, Nut was the goddess of the sky, the vault of the heavens, you know what I mean? So she is often depicted as a woman arched over the earth. So like Geb is depicted as being the actual earth, and she is depicted as the sky, so kind of like surrounding him basically.
Please tell me you got a picture, because it's so fun to look at.
I do. It's amazing. I love it so much. I will actually I will pull that up.
It's a very fun visual.
Most cultures of regions where there is rain personify the sky as masculine, the rain being the seed which fructifies Mother Earth. Just that sentence alone, really, that got me. So in Egypt, however, rain plays no role in fertility. All the useful water is on the earth from the Nile River. So it works a little bit differently that way, which makes sense. I feel like that like pretty much lines up with everything that I've learned about other mythologies as well. Like it makes sense that they worship the Nile more because they're in the fucking desert. So rain doesn't often fall there. So Egyptian religion is unique in the gender of its deities of the earth and sky. I feel like generally it is the opposite. I feel like
Mother Earth,
like Gaia in Greek religion, and then obviously Uranus, that's not his name, Kronos in the sky, or whoever the fuck it is. But regardless, it's a male deity in the sky and a female deity on earth. But I think it's interesting that they kind of flip-flop that here. So I think I like that a lot. So as the goddess of the sky, Nut swallowed the sun in the evening and gave birth to it in the morning. Nut was also represented as a cow, for this was the form she took in order to carry the sun god Ra on her back to the sky.
Wow.
Also a little bit more interesting little tidbit about her is, so on the 5 days on the 5 special days preceding the new year, Nut gave birth successfully to the deities Osiris, Horus, Set, and Isis and Nephthys. These gods, with the exception of Horus, were commonly referred to as the children of Nut. Really, I just wanted
You
an
want to
excuse to say
say,
that.
yeah, you wanted to say the children of Nut. I know you did.
Yes, I did. Yes, I fucking did.
Amazing.
I absolutely did. So this is the picture of of Nut and the Earth. So this is Nut.
Oh.
She is outspread over the entire planet, I guess, is basically what this is depicting here. So for those of you who are not watching the video, essentially it's like a box more or less, and there's a bunch of different hieroglyphs in there with depicting people and animals and other various cultural things as well. And then surrounding that box is a giant lady's body that her legs start at one end, they go all the way around the box, and then like it's her body basically, and at the other side of the box is her head and her hands, and then outside of that is the night sky. And so that's how she's depicted, as being around Geb, the Earth.
I have this picture, which is the one I was hoping you'd get, because if you're looking, it's the same general concept. It's got Geb as basically the land, and then it's got Nut as the sky around the top. And if you look in the middle there, like I was telling you, Shu, their daddy-o, is separating them because they were so obsessed with each other. My battery's dying. They're so obsessed with each other. It took forever for them to let go.
Damn.
So there was no world for the people to live in.
Okay.
So he eventually was like, yo, fucking get off each other and house these humans. And he has to like stay between them.
She is technically Newt, but I just wanted the excuse to say Nut over and over again. I'm sorry. I really like, I mean, you know me.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. We knew that was coming.
Yes, but it's Newt. So I'm that picture I did not find, but I thought this, just when I saw this and I was like, this is fucking hilarious.
It's amazing. It is.
So,
it's amazing.
The fact that they were so like horny for each other that they couldn't like separate.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, yo, you guys gotta fucking stop. We have a world to create and you're not doing it. So
They really got that brother sister bond, don't they?
so close. So close.
So close. Such good brother sisters.
They're
So
such good friends.
Such good friends. Run it back on the next one.
Wait, I'm just gonna throw in a little anecdote. Hannah went to the dentist last week, and the lady was like, oh, you got married, and she's like, yeah, and then she like opened her lock screen, which is me and her both in our wedding dresses, and she goes, look how pretty you look, is that your sister? And Hannah's like, no, nah, that's my wife. And like, okay, if you like went as far to make that mistake where like you didn't get like the dresses or like the wedding day to get, like, I get it, you know, like people don't think that way, fine. But she goes, no, that's my wife. And she goes, no, you guys look just so similar. One, you dug your grave, lady, get out of it, don't dig deeper. And two, in what world do we look anything alike?
If anything, you guys are like the polar opposite of each other in appearance, I feel. Yeah. Almost.
She wouldn't drop it. She's like, no, you guys look so similar. And Hannah's like, no. And she's
Find
like,
a new dentist.
Yeah,
Find a new dentist. Find a new dentist. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Sorry. Tell her to find a new dentist. Like
if you made that mistake, wouldn't you just fucking drop it? Like, not
if I was like,
drive in
yeah,
the
that's
fact.
your sister? No, that's my wife. Oh, that's
my
so
bad,
cute.
my
You guys
bad.
are adorable. My bad. Oh, are you sure? Are you sure you guys? Really? That's not your sister? That's crazy. Looks like I'm looking at a pair of twins here. In what fucking world, lady? You guys are two different shades.
You're two different shades.
Like on like here's Hannah and here's you on the spectrum, like two very far shades away from each other. Like you look nothing alike at all. Like not like everything about you two is different. Like
oh my
there is not a single like the glasses.
That's what I thought.
You're not even wearing your
like,
glasses in the picture. Neither one of you are.
No, I was like, I don't think we look like even slightly similar. But
no.
I said that next time I'm gonna go to that dentist, not like relay the fact that I know Hannah, like see a picture on her desk and be like, "Oh my God, is that your brother?" And she's gonna be like, "That's my husband." I'm like,
You guys
"No,
look
you
just
look
alike."
so
Because
similar."
that is also, hold on, that is insulting as fuck to say that to somebody. Like, I mean, how often do you hear like someone be like, "Oh, look at this cute couple. Like they look just like brother and sister. Isn't that adorable?" No, it is not.
That's
It's
not cute.
not a good connotation. It's not cute. It's not
No.
adorable. Like no one wants to fucking hear that. So why would you double down? People have
Right,
no.
that's what
why
I'm
would
saying.
you-
Like, I get
Yep.
that you made the mistake. No big
Yes.
deal. I will. That rolls off my back. No problem. But you went again. You said double or nothing. Here we go.
She was like, "Yeah, no, I'm right.
You're mistaken. I'm correct.
You're wrong."
Did you get a DNA test? Are you sure? Like what, dude? Sorry, give me a second. Something in my home is burning. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Sort of. I
What
don't
was
know.
burning?
I will figure it out. So I have like a super nose, we've talked about. I texted Hannah like five minutes ago. I was like, "Hey, are you like straightening your hair or something?" Because like I smelled burning, and usually it's just my super senses. And she's like, "No, why?" And then I like opened the door and just like fucking hit me like wall of like burning, I
Yeah.
don't know, burning stuff. And then she like runs. She's like, "I smell it too." I think our dryer is starting to set on fire. They turned it off and everything, but like the like vent was like black and like all the clothes smell like smoke.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. So not on fire yet, but it could have been.
That's still not super great.
Not great, but let's move on.
So you have, I think the next, well, we both have two of the next ones, so go crazy.
I will do Osiris next because
Tell me all about him.
I was really excited to do him. I think to do him.
Nice.
I think he's super cool. So Osiris, contrary to you believing that it's just a shoe brand for hipsters when we were little, he is a god, a deity, and one of the most prominent gods of all of the Ennead. He is the god of the underworld, so kind of like Hades in a way. He is the first son of Gebin and Newt, but his like being actually existed way before the Ennead was established. Basically, he's the king of the underworld and the only deity who's actually just straight up referred to as a god.
Really?
Yeah. That kind of gives you an indication of how prominent he was even before the Ennead was like officially established. Like he just existed. Like people knew of him before like the rest was honored, I guess.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, the oldest religious texts that are known to human beings refer to him as the great god of the dead. And again, one of the only times that they use the word god instead of deity. So he possessed like a human form. If you're looking, you see him here, and he lived on Earth, but he's kind of got a complex story, which I'll just kind of briefly go into. We don't have to go into the whole thing. He was the god of agriculture. He helped things grow, and he helped keep sustenance. There was actually like a rumor that humans before they started worshiping Osiris were cannibals. And he was like, "Hey, guess what? You can live off the land and not each other. Surprise." Like, that's wild. How crazy is that shit? Please stop doing that. It's weird. So that's where he started. But
please stop doing that. It's weird.
But his brother Set was not happy. His brother Set got super jealous of how incredibly famous he was. And he also lusted after his brother's wife, who is Isis, also they're both of their sisters.
Nice.
So meanwhile, Osiris is bringing civilization to people and making them not cannibals. Set is just getting mad. He's just getting more and more mad.
He's like, "I'm pissed now. Now I'm pissed." Like,
yeah.
This is
he's like,
up.
hold up. So not always evil. I'll get to him later, but he was vengeful and he wanted power like all gods happen to do. And so Set invited Osiris to like this big old gorgeous banquet, right? They all get together for a party. And what is this party for? It's to give away the most gorgeous ebony chest, otherwise known as a coffin. And he offered that only the person who fit it perfectly could take it for them for later and have in the afterlife. Of course, he knew his brother, so he made it fit him perfectly. So Set is one of many guests to like lay down in it to check. And he basically just goes, whoop, closes it, nails it shut, and goes, "You're mine now, bitch." Gotcha. So he basically buries him alive.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha. He seals it with molten lead, so like homeboy's not getting out. And he throws it in the Nile. And so the Nile takes it out to sea and it lands on a coast. And eventually this tree catches it on the shore and quote unquote protects it, like grows and protects it, like it knows that it's a god.
Okay.
It grows so big to protect them that it becomes a palace. And like people like were what do you call it, like praying in that palace or like residing and like praying to whatever god. They didn't know what it was, but they knew it was sacred. And
Interesting.
So Isis, the wife's sister, is looking for him throughout the land, right?
Of course.
She persuades the king of this palace to give her the chest that has Osiris in it. And she takes it back to Egypt. Eventually, long story short, Set finds it, and he's dead. Osiris is dead at this point. He died in it. And Set finds it, and he's on his way to go steal it. Isis takes her power and reanimates the corpse and is like, "No, live, my love. I miss you." And they conceive a baby that night. Her power wasn't strong enough to hold it, so he dies again.
Okay.
By the time he dies again, Set finds him and takes the body and cuts it up into 14 pieces and hides it all over Egypt.
Damn.
Yeah. After like many a year, both his sister, Osiris's sisters, so Nephthys and Isis, are mourning, and eventually they go find all the pieces and put him back together. Long story short, he gets reanimated, but he's not right. That's why you see him. He's always presented as green or black or like brown, like a rotting color, but generally like a green zombie, essentially.
Okay.
So they put all his parts back together by what do? They wrap him up.
Essentially,
So
that's why he's bandaged as well.
He's bandaged, and Osiris is the very first Egyptian mummy. So he lives in this mummified state for forever after this, and he leaves the agricultural world to become the god of the underworld, because that's kind of where he belongs. He like thrives there now instead of, he can't like be on Earth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
God of the underworld has the job that we talked about. He is the judgment. He is the last role in purgatory. He's the one that goes, "Hey, were you a good person? Go to heaven. Were you a bad person?
Were you a shitter?
Get your heart eaten by Amit."
Yeah, exactly. So Amit helps out Osiris.
Yeah, for sure. So he's the judge, but the cool thing that I really like about Egyptian mythology is that he was like he's not like Hades. He's not feared. He's not like this scary god of the underworld. Like people love Osiris. Like they go to get judged and they're like smiling. They're like, "Yeah, pound it, dude. Like good to see you. Like
Let's go."
Like he's super chill and he's always like smiling. And he goes, "Don't tell me the things you did wrong. I don't want to know what you did wrong. I want to know all the things you didn't do wrong."
Yeah, tell me the things you did right.
Well, not even that. He says, "Tell me what you didn't do wrong." So instead of, they call it like a reverse confession because it's so opposite of Catholics. Instead of going and be like, "I lied to my parents," like you go there and you go, "I didn't murder anyone today. I didn't eat a person. I ate crops like you told me.
I've never cannibalized anybody. He's like,
Yeah.
oh,
He's like, hell,
like,
sweet,
nice.
sweet.
That's fucking awesome. Like,
Yeah. So you go do this reverse confession instead of like, I did bad things. You go, hey, like, I wasn't that bad. Like, I didn't steal. I didn't kill. Like, this is how good I am, which I think is a really cool concept.
yeah.
And then your heart gets judged. And then, I mean, there's a lot after that, but that's all Osiris's job. And he's like the chillest guy. And like I said, one of the most friendly and then the most famous god.
I don't know. This motherfucker right here do not be looking friendly.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't really say all of it. He's depicted as the mummified king. He's always got his ceremonial curvy goatee beard.
Mhm.
He's got what they call a crozier and a flail. So like what do you call it? What do you call like the sex whips? Like
No.
With a F. Help.
I don't know.
We'll come
That
back.
reminds me of one of the things that you whip horses with. So I
A
don't
flogger, like a flogger.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like the curve, it looks like a candy cane. You've all
Yep.
seen it in in Egyptian mythology. So those are the flail and the crozier. His skin is generally green or black to represent that he is in fact dead. He has to have a white crown of Upper Egypt, or the Aftif crown, which is the one with feathers in it.
He's got both here.
Yeah, that's basically it for Osiris. I mean, he's like I said, he's one of the most famous, so he has way more story than most of them.
Yeah.
Like I said, they had like that weird thing that happened where Nephthys decided to disguise as his wife Isis, and they had Anubis, and then he also actually had a kid with Isis, which is Horus. So those are our two bonus characters. They're all tied to Osiris.
Yeah, so I can actually talk a little bit now about his sister Nephthys. We can get into kind of what her deal is and what she's got going on.
Yes, please.
So yeah, so to talk a little bit about her, so Nephthys was they called her the mistress of the house, which I think is interesting. I don't really know why they call her that, but I'm assuming that we're gonna find out here shortly. So let's go.
We're about to find out.
So she was the goddess of the air, since the sky is the head of the world and the head of the family.
Mm-hmm.
So she also represented like the lower portion of Egypt, along with Ptah Tannen. I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is? Do you know Ptah Tannen?
No,
But Lower Egypt, I'm assuming, I'm making a generalization here, but this seems to be like how it works usually, was I'm assuming the shittier side of Egypt, where it was like a little bit less nice.
Well said.
Like shittier housing and poor people and stuff like that. I'm assuming like people who don't have food or anything to eat is what I would gather Lower Egypt met, like north side, south side type beat. Is that what
south side?
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. So in Egyptian mythology, Nephthys was the daughter of Geb and Nut and the sister of Isis. She is Set's sister and wife and the mother of Anubis. However, she is sometimes depicted as being barren. Therefore, she is associated with vultures, a bird which the Egyptians believed could not have children, and with mourning as well. So she's associated with kind of not even death. It's just like malice, not even like vultures and stuff like that. Like that's not great. Like we're not seeing great things from Nephthys right now.
But I mean, let's add that up. So the god of the underworld and the god of barren mourning, and they make Anubis. Like that just makes sense.
Also makes sense that she's Set's wife. So I kind of I get that.
They are a salty couple, is what I'm learning.
Yeah,
they're just mad together.
For real. She helped Isis bring Osiris back to life after he was killed by Set. So she is depicted in tombs and on coffins as a protector of the dead, specifically associated with the organs placed in canopic jars.
Oh,
Nephthys and
cool.
Isis look very similar and can only be differentiated by their headdresses. Nephthys is shown with a basket on her head. However, she is sometimes depicted as a hawk or a woman in mourning. So let me pull up this photo for you right now.
That's really cool. So I've heard of her. I've never heard that she, was the one in charge of like the organs that they keep out and like before judgment.
So as you can see, she, for those of you watching, she pretty much just looks like a basic female, like pharaoh, kind of like who would be depicted in like on hieroglyphs. However, she is got a little something different on her head here that is, I feel like, non-traditional. So I'm assuming this is the basket that they were talking about.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a basket to me, but I guess to each their own.
It's
But
a little basket.
it's a little basket. So I think I didn't know that she was associated with the organs either. And I think that's pretty cool. But she looks very similar in like body to I would say like what Tefnut's body looked like, or what Newt's body looked like. Did I show Newt? Did that happen? Am I crazy? I did show Newt.
Yeah.
Why am I tripping like this?
The
So crazy.
stretchy lady
the
above
stretchy
the earth.
lady. So yeah. So this is Nephthys. I didn't actually know that she disguised herself as Isis and finesse some semen from Osiris's rotting corpse, but I guess pop off for her for that one.
I mean, to be fair, they are literally identical twins, so it couldn't have been too hard.
That's true. It does in fact say that her and Isis look almost the exact fucking same in hieroglyphs besides the headdresses. So
yeah.
Anyway,
like
that's
the
Nephthys.
typical switched out classes with your twin story, no big deal.
Yes, exactly. Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
That's not freaky. Is it freaky? Is it Freaky Friday with the twins? Is that
no. Also Lindsay Lohan though. You're thinking of The Parent Trap.
Thank you. Yep, that's what I was thinking of. So, to prove the fact that Nephthys and Isis look together like the exact same fucking person, Chanel, wanna take it away there with her?
Yes. So Isis, Nephthys's sister, she is known as the goddess of the moon, and she looks
you weren't lying.
Exactly the same. Quite literally the same.
You weren't lying.
It's the same exact person. She's got the ankh and the staff, and on top of her head is a different headdress, which I'm not quite sure that I know what it is. I don't know if I have that.
I don't know what that is actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. I'll get there. So she's known as the goddess of the moon. Again, overlaps. She's also the goddess of life and magic. She's also the protector of women, children, and healing the sick. So the opposite of Anakin Skywalker.
God damn. Not just the men and women and children, but the sick too. Fuck me. Even the ones who are already injured, he said them too. Them fucking too.
She is so closely linked to the throne because she is one of the great goddesses of ancient Egypt. So quite in fact, the throne is what is on her headdress. Her headdress is literally a picture of her throne. Her symbols also include the staff and the ankh, and she's also very often depicted with wings. If you'll show the next picture.
I will show the next picture.
She for listeners, she's kind of sitting down, kneeling down, and she's got her arms spread, but connected to her arms are these great big wings that go out on either side. And her sundress, or her head dress in this, has the sun disc.
Oh yeah.
So she's the sister and wife as Osiris, as we talked about. She's the one who gives birth to your boy Horus. She's one of the few that's listed with actual powers besides Osiris. And she was able to heal, protect, and use magic. It doesn't quite say how she uses magic. It just says that she possessed magic.
Okay.
She was known to have cast spells upon Ra to protect her, and then also was one that brought Osiris back to life. The powers for that only lasted a night. Other than that, they don't have much information on the magic, which makes me really interested. I want to know more, but apparently nobody knows. So I'm just going to have to go unbury some hieroglyphs myself to learn.
Yeah, that's fine. You got it.
This is my favorite sentence. They literally go, she also had a throne on her head to symbolize she was a queen. Like, thank you.
Yes, queen shit.
I want to be such a queen that I literally just put my status on my head.
Exactly. It's not enough to be having a crown on your head, but to wear a miniature version of your actual throne, that's a flex.
That's a weird flex. She is sometimes called the egg of the goose because Geb is her father, Gooseman himself.
Gooseman himself. Yes. Anthony Eds.
So one of the most potentially intriguing goddesses in the Ennead, and they have very little information. So that kind of enrages me.
But not surprising because women.
Because women, I don't know, Egypt, if we talk about Egypt, they do real good with the women.
They were surprisingly good about it. Yes.
Very powerful women.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Cleopatra.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
I also have Set. So if you're sick of hearing me talk, leave now. Set
His
is
ugly
also
ass.
known as, my favorite thing to say, as Carl mentioned earlier, Set is also known as Seth, regular old Seth. He's also known as Sutek, which he's the Egyptian god of war, chaos, and storms. So if you're wondering why Angry Boy was angry, it's because he was filled with rage and chaos.
he was born this way. Literally, he was just mad from the get-go. So
He was made to do this.
yeah, exactly.
His name's oftentimes translated to instigator of confusion or just straight up destroyer. Like,
I'd like to be known as the instigator of confusion from now on.
I'm just gonna call you destroyer, and you can interpret at your own will.
Fantastic.
He was associated with disorder, foreign lands, and people, and the color red. So basically, Set is Carl.
Yes, ma'am. That's me. Looking like Seth out in this bitch.
What up, Seth? He is the god of the desert. Set's associated with sandstorms and desert caravans, and
I'd be pissed too if I were him. That
Yeah.
sucks.
I hate sand. It's all coarse.
No,
and
literally,
rough.
that's probably what he's like. Like, he's probably like, I don't even fuck with this like that. Like, I hate the sand, dude. Like, why do I have to be the one in charge?
People thought Set was insanely powerful because of how hostile the desert was in the sandstorm. So they were like, wow, Set's an angry dude. He's just got all this rage. He's regarded consequently as the chief god because he is so powerful. So
Really?
yeah, homeboy all the way down there at the bottom of the family tree is known as chief god because he's so scary.
Damn. Well, he doesn't have my vote. Hashtag not my
Not my god. So Set, if you saw the pictures, he has like this weird like donkey aardvark face. Like
It's
something
ugly. He looks ugly.
His like snout is like a flaccid penis. Like it's very sad
Yep.
looking.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows what that is. He's depicted as this mysterious unknown creature, and they call it a typhonic beast. And if you're reading along here, I didn't know what it meant, so I kind of copied all of it. He's the Set animal. So like they just call that animal Set because it doesn't actually exist.
Okay.
It's got a curved snout and then squared off ears and then a forked tail and a canine body. Or sometimes like the one you saw, a human body with the weird head.
Yeah.
There's no complete resemblance to any known creature. So they say it's closest to an aardvark, a jackal, and they're both desert creatures. So they think that it was somewhere mixed in.
Wait a fucking minute. The aardvark is a desert creature?
Yeah, have you seen an aardvark?
Yes, but I thought they were more prominent in. Never mind. I'm thinking of anteaters.
Oh yeah, no, aardvarks are the ones that roll up and they like doop 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 doop.
Yep.
Yeah. So he basically is this weird creature that no one actually knows what he is, with immense power, and he just looks really scary.
Ugly.
Yeah. So he's a weird looking creature and probably the angriest.
So valid. Me too.
Amazing.
So that is Set's angry ass, which seems like a lot because it is.
Yeah, he's so mad.
And now we're going to be talking about the fake Ennead members. So up first we have Osiris and Isis's son, Horus. My personal favorite Egyptian god. I can't really explain it. I just think the falcon is so sexy looking, and or the hawk. It doesn't. And the eye of Horus is also cool. I love it. Anyway, so let's get into his little story here. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Tell us all about it.
So Horus, in ancient Egyptian religion, is a god in the form of a falcon whose right eye was the sun or the morning star, representing power and quintessence.
Oh,
Oh,
what a word.
oh,
$5 word right there.
oh, quintessence. Let me run that one back for you
Mm.
one more time. Quintessence.
Oh,
And
it's
whose
so
left
good.
eye was the moon or evening star, representing healing. Falcon cults, which were evident from late pre-dynastic times, were widespread in Egypt, worshiping Horus. So Horus appeared as
Falcon
a local god.
cults.
What'd you say?
You say Falcon cults?
Yeah, so I feel like also I should mention cults like back in like the ancient times were not like what cults are like today. So it's
No,
not
God,
like,
no.
fucking crazy Robbie who's lived down the street from you for fucking 20 years is all of a sudden like,
It's
hey,
not the
I'm
occult. It's
Cthulhu. Come take Kool-Aid, come suicide Kool-Aid with me and the rest of my followers, please. That's not what it is. That's not what it's like.
Oh my God, amazing.
So, a little bit different. Like it was basically just like cult was used to refer to like a group of people that worshiped something. So obviously a group of people who worship falcons
Mhm.
and therefore Horus. Just wanted to make sure that you guys didn't think it was some sort of crazy
No, just
literal
like the
falcon
cult,
cult.
the cult of the falcon or the hawk just sounds so fucking cool. Like so
Yeah, right.
metal.
Don't you want to join the falcon
So
cult?
yeah. Yeah,
That
that's what
sounds
we're gonna
awesome.
call. That's what we're gonna. No, never mind. I was gonna say that's what we're gonna call our listeners, but that seemed real disrespectful. We're not that cool.
So Horus appeared as a local god in many places and names under various like different names and epithets. Like there's a lot of different names for him, like Horus in the horizon, Horus the child, Horus son of Isis, there's a different Horus of the horizon as well. There's a lot of different names for him. Like some of them closely associate him with the sun god Ra. Some of them associate him more so with like being an elder god. So there's a lot of different things that Horus relates to. And again, I think he was one of the ones that was like before the Ennead even existed, because I think that's what like Falcon cults existed even before that. So they've been worshiping Horus since before the Ennead was actually in place. I would also like to say, so people thought that the reigning king in an area was like the manifestation of Horus. And after Lower Egypt and Upper Egypt had been unified, the notion became a generally accepted dogma. So the most important of an Egyptian's king's names was his name Horus, the name that identified him with Horus. This name appeared on monuments and tombs in a rectangular frame called a sarek. So he was kind of associated with kings as well, which is why it surprised me when you said that Geb was like the king of kings, because I kind of always thought that Horus was the one associated the most with the pharaohs.
Yeah, it sounds like Horus was like the honored title, where Geb was just like the first official on Earth pharaoh.
Yeah. And now I'd like to sort of tell a little bit of an interesting story about Horus between Horus and Set, because it is fascinating, and I just want to tell it. So,
Great.
Horus was told by his mother Isis to protect the people of Egypt from Set, the god of the desert who had killed Horus's father Osiris. Horus had many battles with Set, not only to avenge his father, but to choose the rightful ruler of Egypt. In these battles, Horus came to be associated with Lower Egypt and became its patron. According to a certain book, Set is depicted as trying to prove his dominance over Horus by seducing him and then having sexual intercourse with him. Yep, that's right.
That's a power move.
However, Horus places his hands between his thighs and catches Set's semen, then subsequently throws it in the river so that he may not be said to have been inseminated by Set. So
what a power move.
So, Set tried to inseminate him, but Horus was like, no,
gotcha.
Not happening.
Like,
Horus or Isis in some versions then deliberately spreads his own semen on some lettuce, which was Set's favorite food. Yep, fascinating.
I didn't know
Set
that.
had eaten the lettuce, they went to the gods to try and settle the argument over the rule of Egypt. The gods first listened to Set's claim of dominance over Horus and call his semen forth, but it answered from the river, invalidating his claim. Then the gods listened to Horus's claim of having dominated Set and call his semen forth, and it answered from inside of Set. However,
No.
Set still refused to relent, and the other gods were getting tired from over 80 years of fighting and challenges. 80 fucking years of this.
80 years of their like semen games.
It's like, I put my semen inside of you first. Nuh-uh.
No, I did it. No, I caught it and threw it in the river. I threw it in the goddess of wet. Oops.
Horus and Set challenged each other to a boat race where they each raced in a boat made of stone. Horus and Set agreed. Wait. Horus and Set agreed, and the race started. But Horus had an edge. His boat was made of wood painted to resemble stone rather than true stone. What a cheeky bastard! Set's boat, being made of heavy stone, sank, but Horus's did not. Horus then won the race, and Set stepped down and officially gave Horus the throne of Egypt. After
Wait. So you're telling me that his semen being thrown in the river and called forth and being like, nope, not valid. and then Horus's semen being called from inside of Set and like yoink out the mouth. And he was like, oh, no, that doesn't count. But the boat, that shit's for real.
Yeah, the boat race was the most important. It was the penultimate challenge.
Yeah.
So, after the new kingdom, Set was still considered lord of the desert and its oases. However, in many versions of the story, Horus and Set divide the realm between them. Instead, this division can be equated with any of several fundamental dualities that the Egyptians saw in their world. Horus may receive the fertile lands around the Nile, the core of Egyptian civilization, in which Set takes the barren desert or the foreign lands that are associated with it. Horus may rule the earth while Set dwells in the sky, and each god may take one of the two traditional halves of the country, Upper and Lower Egypt, in which case either god may be connected with either region.
So they split it somehow. We just don't know which way.
In this peaceable union, Horus and Set are reconciled, and the dualities that they represent have been resolved into a united whole. Through this resolution, order is restored after the tumultuous conflict.
Wow, that is a fun story. You were not wrong.
Yeah, it's so
amazing.
It's so funny. So I didn't actually like read the full thing when I wanted to like pull that up for you. So hearing about the lettuce semen was definitely a fun little
twist.
A fun little twist for me, for sure. So here's a photograph of Horus. So he is depicted holding the traditional scepter and ankh, but then as you can see, despite him having like the body of a man, he's got the head of a falcon, and he's also got the special like phallic shaped hat, which signifies I think it's like we discussed it, like Osiris has it as well. It signifies that they're part of like the higher echelon of like gods or whatever like that. They're very powerful, essentially.
They got the bowling pin headdress. They're important.
Yeah,
remember that.
They're important. And so obviously then he has, like I said, the falcon's head, and I want to show you this picture as well because I just think
is so cool.
Too cool to look at. So this is a bit of an artist take on what Horus looks like instead of the traditional hieroglyph look of him. So he's got the scepter still, but he's manipulating magic in his other hand a little bit. And you can see his eyes are lit up, and he's like standing in the forefront of a background of Egypt, of the pyramids in the back. So it's pretty neat. I think Horus is very cool. One of my favorite like Egyptian gods, definitely number one for me. Numero uno.
He is super cool, and it's interesting to see because he's so revered.
Yeah,
and he's got the bird head and also like the eye of Horus, which is like such a good equation to Ra, who's also got the bird head and the eye of Ra, which is like pretty big names we're throwing around out here.
Yes, it is.
The other one, I don't have a lot of detail because I feel like everyone kind of knows. If you know Egyptian stuff, like this is the one you know. That's Anubis, who's not technically part of the Ennead at all. He's just a oopsie son. He is the god of the dead. He's not the god of the underworld or the god of death like people think. He's just the god of the dead. So the ones that are already dead, he's hanging out with. If you want to know more about Anubis, look into it. I don't have a lot of it there, but take a look at some pictures because he is undoubtedly one of the coolest gods. He's got a jackal head or like a dog head. And he's pictured usually as mostly human with just the head, but also you can see a lot of the Anubis statues are just like a full jackal. And he also has control of jackals at his will. And he's just utterly a badass and probably the most used in art. I see a lot of versions of Anubis all the time. So very, very, very cool god to look into. That'll be your bonus homework. So
Yeah, that's your homework, guys, if you feel like going and looking. So, and if you're watching the video at home, here is a pretty cool art depiction of Anubis.
And the other one is Khonshu. He's not really part of the Ennead at all. If you're just here for the Marvel knowledge, Khonshu is the god of the moon who tends to be a royal fuck up and do things for his own benefit. But Carl, I'm not sure if you want to pull up some of the comic versions of Khonshu because
Yeah. Let me pull Khonshu up real quick. Let me find a little picture of him.
aside from Moon Knight, which is like a really badass representation, he has a lot of cool artwork in the comics.
Let me see. So there's actually a pretty it's not the best, but it's a decent photo of him like in hieroglyphs. So this is what he traditionally looks like.
Yeah.
Which I think is
also
interesting.
dead.
Yeah, so he's also dead. He's got the moon hat, the moon headdress, and then he's got looks like he's got a scepter, a copus, and a flail. So he's got all three.
Yeah.
But we will look at some other photos of him. I love the bird head, the pigeon,
the skull.
right? The pigeon skull.
Let's see if I can find an actual comic picture for our
Is this
video
not it?
watchers. I mean like the original comic, like the older ones. If you are watching, this is like a super cool comic book version of Khonshu.
He almost looks like Moon Knight right here, right? Like,
yeah,
a little bit anyway. I found one as well.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Moon Knight there, which makes sense.
Yeah, it's very cool. They actually just pulled a fast one on him in the most recent episode. So
yeah, really, you're gonna want to catch up to that. And also,
definitely
oh my God, look at the Funko Pop. Look at that Funko Pop. My God.
Hold up, there's a
glow in the dark version.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Spelled that totally fucking wrong. Here we go.
Look at it. Wow.
Yeah.
Probably one of the coolest pops.
Copped. Or will
yeah.
be. Would like to cop. Yeah, but big fan. I think he's very he's a cool character and definitely what kind of spurred on my desire to dive into Egyptian lore a little bit more, as well as just like in the third episode, the Ennead pops up a lot. So it's cool to see how Marvel depicts gods, as well as like just in general, like kind of how they function in the comics and in relation to how they functioned in real life. So it's cool stuff.
Absolutely it is. And yeah, I kind of want to go back and see the Ennead and see how their the statues behind them relate to everything we just saw, like the actual
so they
hieroglyphs.
actually, what's really interesting to me is I've rewatched the episode 3 times now. And they include Hathor in the Ennead in the show, but Hathor is not in the Ennead traditionally, because I think the ones that meet are Tefnut, Horus, Osiris, Hathor, and Isis, and they all meet together. But Hathor is not traditionally in the Ennead, so it's interesting.
I have a lot of theories that we'll talk about later, just
Okay.
because I don't want to spoil it just yet. It's so new, and yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to have done this one. I think it's
me too. I think it's
tribute.
very cool. We dipped our toe a little bit in the beginning with the the mythological creatures one. With Amit, we touched on Greek mythology or Egyptian mythology. Damn it, not again. Just a tad. But now we really got balls deep into this shit. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing us talk about this a lot. I wish Chanel had her statues not packed away because they are so cool, and I would love to show them to you guys.
Cool.
So badass. The Anubis and Sekhmet one are fuego. So
cool.
So good. Oh, also fun little fact for you guys. If you wanted more information about Marvel deities, Bast, the panther god, is actually cousins to Khonshu, I think, something like that. So he's the one that Black Panther is like that's the panther god that Black Panther's like helped out by. So they're like related somehow because they're both Egyptian, I think. Bast is Egyptian,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
So they're a little bit related. So there's just some little knowledge for you, I guess.
Just a little sprinkle in there. Yeah, so we will do Greek mythology soon. Definitely. If there are any other mythologies you guys want to see, obviously there's of course Greek and Roman, but those are so closely related. I feel like they're basically the same thing. And Norse is obviously a big one too. So, and if there are other ones that you maybe want us to review, like
I know there are a shit ton of other different mythologies out there. I have taken 2 courses at college that have related to mythologies in different ways. So I know there's a lot. So if there's anything that you guys want us to cover specifically, if you maybe want us to get into like Hindu mythology and like Vishnu and I can't remember the rest of their names now, but there's like a lot of them they have a lot of cool stories too. So if you want us to go into that or any other mythologies, comment on the Facebook or Instagram or anything like that when we post this and be like, hey, check out or peep out this mythology or this. Or if you are like a fucking master in knowledge on something like that, we would love to have you on the show. If you're a huge, mythology master in one of these things, we'd love to have you on. So if there are any like archaeologists listening or something like that, I don't really know like what kind of audience we got, but if you are peeping us out on your
we want
your headphones,
you.
we want you on the show.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoyed listening to Chanel talk. She is very knowledgeable in this subject, and I love learning new things, like so much I feel like I didn't know about Egyptian mythology at all. So very cool. Really, really like it.
Thanks. It's so much fun. I love that we can switch off on these things because like you can teach me so much and I get to every once in a while be the one that gets to teach you a couple things. So that's exciting.
You teach me all the time. I teach you about nonsense. You teach me about life.
Oh, this is so cute.
Thank you guys so much.
Wait, I'm going to do a plug. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm going to do a plug really quick. I'm going to plug our mythology one. If you are here just for the Marvel end and you're just learning from Marvel, we did a mythology creatures episode and Carl mentioned that Amit's in it. There's like a very in-depth description of what Amit does and what the function of Amit is, and it's so relevant for Moon Knight. So I'm going to tell you to go listen to that one again. It'll make everything a lot easier on you.
Like the first one we talk about, I think low key, I think you think the first one we discussed in that episode. So
yeah.
Definitely very worth it for you to check that one out. Also a great episode, one of my favorite episodes. So funny and so enjoyable to listen to and learn about all these creatures and stuff like that. So definitely check that one out. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Check out us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat at Rated E Pod, and make sure to go give some love to Yasmin Abed Art, who's been making all of our sexy ass new promotional art for our episodes, as well as the new merch that we have. So we've got space merch as well as just new merch with the new logo as well. So go check that out and cop that shit for us because we love your money. We love it so much, but that's not the reason why we do this.
We love your support.
We love your money and your money, but mostly your support.
Also not sponsored, but Ciroc, if you drink, Ciroc just released a new seltzer, and you can't really tell here because the lighting's bad, but it is like the sexiest can. There we go. I've ever seen. There's a bunch of different colors and it tastes good. I'm not sponsored. I just want to share good drinks with you. And,
well, thank you guys so much for listening. This has been Rated E for everything. Ciroc sponsor us. Peace out. Love you guys. Bye.
I love you. Bye.